If you're looking for a flexible soft top to take place of your current hard top or replace your current soft top on your 2018 or newer 4-door JL Wrangler, this Bestop Supertop Squareback Soft Top in black diamond is a solid choice to consider. Now, this is a very versatile system with multiple options on how you can run this, whether it's partially open at the front for a little bit of extra air, a full safari style configuration, or even both at the same time, while also being easy to maneuver for an effortless switch. It's also great for the JL owners who need a new top and prefer the square back style, whether that's for the traditional appearance or the vertical storage space that the back allows. Great for overland excursions or just day-to-day use if you have a lot of stuff in the back of your Jeep. I do want to reiterate that this is a full replacement top that comes with all the hardware to support the fabric. If you don't have any because of your current hard top situation, or you've broken any supporting components on your current soft top and need that full replacement. Now, while this top isn't completely convertible like the factory one, it does keep some features that the factory one has while also adding some very useful ones. Now, one of those creature comforts that you do get to keep with this system is that Sunrider feature for the open air experience right above the driver and passenger side seats by easily flipping it back and securing it down. Now, what's unique about this choice, however, is the zipperless window design, replacing the zippers that can make securing and taking off your windows a pain in the butt with a slide-in C-channel design for hassle-free installs and hassle-free removal. Now, along with the benefit of being easier, it also allows you to fully open up the back section of the top rather than having those two supports at each corner, so you can have partial coverage in the back while feeling much more open while you're driving around. Now, the main part of this top is the fabric material. This is made of a black diamond vinyl, which is pretty tough for what it is, being a soft material. Now, it's resistant to UV rays and fading, as well as mildew and even light abrasions, in addition to having a texture finish for that classic soft top appearance. Now, the windows that are included with this kit are also tough, made of a DOT approved 18% tinted vinyl material, and that's going to help insulate and keep the interior a little bit cooler, in addition to adding some privacy for the things in the back of your Jeep. Now, the frame system and supporting components are made of steel and plastic materials, offering solid support to the fabric, and the kit does come with all of the required hardware for a straightforward modification-free install. Now, this is about $1,400, and for a full soft top replacement, that's a fairly average price point. Now, comparing this to others in the category, this is right in the middle with its construction and materials, offering a really good balance between the price point and the qualities of the top. The black diamond vinyl is much more durable than a black denim or sailcloth material, but it is lighter and more affordable compared to a premium black twill acrylic. It's also unique in the fact that it has the Sunrider squareback and safari style configuration with the zipperless windows in a solid build, which makes this a high quality option without that super high price point. Install is a lighter 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter because of the length of the install, but it is generally straightforward. Now, it should take about 4 hours or so to completely get this assembled and installed. Now, I do recommend installing this in 72-degree or hotter weather, or even just laying the fabric in the sun for a little bit if you don't have that temperature readily available for you. It's just going to make sure that the fabric fits and stretches properly for an easy fit. Now, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to one of our installers. They're going to show you all of the details on how you can get this bolted up to your Wrangler at home. So that wraps it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, 13mm wrench, 3 and 4mm Allen wrenches, T30, 40, and 50 Torx sockets, 8mm socket, 5mm Allen socket, and a Phillips head socket. What's up, guys? Today we're installing a soft top on our Wrangler, so let's get started. So now the first thing we're gonna do is assemble our frame. So we're gonna get our top and our bottom here. We've got a couple U-clips that we need to slide onto the top, and then we can bolt those together. So now I'm gonna take my U-clips on the top piece. We want the threaded section pointed towards the top. Slide those on until they click into place. And then we're gonna connect our two halves. Take our Allen bolts, thread those in, and then take a 4mm Allen wrench, tighten them down. Now do that same thing for the other side. So now you're going to want to open up the back door, and then you can slide your frame into place. And it has holes that it will drop down into. And then we have our short Torx bolt with a flat washer that's going down in the back. We'll thread that in just to hold it, and then we'll go up top and get our other two bolts. So now take your long Torx bolts, put them through the hole, and thread those in. And then take your T40 Torx socket to tighten those down. Now we'll come back to that bolt that we threaded in first and take your T40 Torx socket to tighten it down. Now we're going to get our front piece. We're going to slide it behind the piece that we just installed, and then lay it down into our holes. And then we're just going to use those same bolts and thread those up into place. And then grab your T40 Torx socket again, tighten those down. And then you can repeat that process on the other side. Now we're going to install our tailgate corner piece. So just drop that in right on the corner, and take your T50 bolt, thread it into the threaded hole in the body, and then grab your T50 Torx socket and tighten that down. And repeat that process on the other side. Now at the back corner of our frame, we need to install our bracket. We have rib nuts in here, so we're just going to line it up and thread our 3 Allen bolts in. And it's a little tight in there, so I'm just threading them in as far as I can by hand, so I don't have much work to do with the Allen wrench. Now I'm going to take a 4mm Allen wrench to snug all these up. If you have a ball end, that'll help you out. You can go in on an angle. And then do that same thing on the other side. Next we're going to come to the back of our roll bar. We have this plastic cover that we're going to pop off. Get behind it, it's just got 2 clips holding it in. And then we're going to install our bracket. We've got these 2 pins, one's going into this hole, one's going into the slot. And then we're going to thread in those T40 Torx bolts. And then take your T40 Torx socket, tighten it down, and do the same on the other side. Next, we're going to install our number 5 bow. This is going onto those brackets that we just installed on the frame. So we're going to raise this up, and then we've got Allen bolts going through the top, and then a flat washer and a nut for the bottom. Now I'm going to take my Allen bolt and put it through the hole, and then get a flat washer and a nut on the bottom. Do the same thing on the other one. And now get your hardware installed on the other side, and then you can take a 5mm Allen socket and a 13mm wrench to tighten this down. and then do the same on the other side. Next, we're gonna install our number 4 bow. This is gonna go pretty much right above the corner of our rear door. We have these 2 threaded inserts that we're gonna be running our Allen bolts with a flat washer down into. Now take a 4mm Allen wrench and tighten those down. Do the same on the other side. Now we need to mount a couple brackets to our number 2 bow. So it's gonna be these L-shaped brackets that we're gonna use to mount it up to our frame. So now we're gonna take our M5 bolt and we're gonna put a flat washer on there. We're gonna put that through the hole in this bracket. And then we're gonna slide on one of these plastic bushings. You want the smaller side facing away from the bolt. And then slide it through your number 2 bow. Put another bushing on there, this time the smaller side facing the bolt. And then a flat washer and a nut. And then grab a 3mm Allen wrench to hold the bolt and an 8mm socket to tighten the nut down. Do that same thing on the other side. So now we're gonna mount up our number 2 and our number 3 bows at the same time. So we've got our number 2 bow and the bracket that we just installed. We're gonna lay that down onto this threaded portion first. Get it lined up, and then take your number 3 bar, go directly on top. And then we've got Allen bolts with flat washers that we're gonna thread into those threaded inserts. Do that for both bolts, and then take a 4mm Allen wrench, tighten them up, and do the same on the other side. Now I've got our soft top, and we're gonna have to add pretty similar brackets to what we did on our number 2 bow to these arms. So we've got the same exact hardware set up, so we can go in and get those mounted up. Now take your bracket, bolt with a flat washer, and then your plastic bushing, smaller side facing away from the bolt. Slide that through. Get your bushing facing the opposite way, flat washer, and nut. And then just grab that same 3mm Allen wrench and 8mm socket from before and tighten this down. And then do that same thing on the other side. Next we need to add our bow link here. So once again, bolt with a flat washer, going from the outside in through this arm. And then the bushing. And the arm, and this is going to go underneath of the bracket here. Another bushing, flat washer, and nut. And then 3mm Allen wrench and 8mm socket, tighten it down. Do the same thing on the other side. So now I've got my soft top flipped over. We're at the very back of the soft top here, face down on the table. Now we've got a bunch of holes in our number 6 bow that we're gonna need to run self-tappers into. We have this flap right here. You can see we have a bunch of holes. We're just gonna line these up with the holes in our number 6 bow and run our self-tappers in. I've got a Phillips head socket that I'm gonna be using to do this. So I'm gonna start in the middle and work my way out. I'm gonna stick my self-tapper in. There's a little hole in the center. The rest of them are slots. So I'm going to try to get it through the fabric first. And then I'm gonna line it up, get the screw into that hole. And then I'll run that in. And now I'm just gonna go back and forth, working my way out to the sides. Next, we need to install this grommet on our number 6 bow. Now you've got 2 holes, you're doing it on the one towards the middle. So there's a ridge here that's gonna sit in that cutout. So get it started and then just push around it to get it to pop into place. And then repeat on the other side. Next, we need to attach our tension cable to our number 6 bow. So we've got 2 halves of this piece. This is the female end. That's gonna come from the inside out. We're gonna put this cable eyelet over it. Now Bestop provides and suggests that you put thread locker in here because you can't really get the screw super tight. Since we're just doing this for demonstration purposes, I'm not gonna put that on, but you can just put a little dab on the threads on the male side and then thread that in. And then I'm just gonna push on the back here to hold it from spinning. And tighten that up with a flathead screwdriver. And then you can do the same thing on the other side. So now we need to mount down the bracket on our soft top as well as connect this link to our number 2 bow. So I'm gonna take my Allen bolts with flat washers and thread them into the threaded inserts first. And I'm gonna grab my 4mm Allen wrench and tighten those down. And then we're gonna connect our 2 bows together here. Now I'm gonna put that same 5mm So now we're gonna connect our bows together. I've got that 3mm Allen bolt with a flat washer. I'm gonna put one of those bushings in as well. I'm gonna slide it through the link. And then I'm gonna get a bushing facing the opposite way in between the link and the number 2 bow. And then put the bolt through the hole. And then I'll get my flat washer and my nut on the other side. And now take a 3mm Allen wrench and an 8mm socket and tighten that down. And then repeat that process on the other side. Next, we're going to install our number 6 bow supports. We're going to be connecting this to the number 5 bar. Now this is offset. You want this to kink in towards the middle. Slide it over this ear, and then we're using the shoulder bolt to secure it. Get your thread started, and then take a T30 torque socket to tighten it down. Now do that on the other side. So now we need to flip our soft top over the Jeep, and then we're going to pick up the front to take some slack off of it. Just grab the front and flip that back. Now on our number 5 bow, we have these 2 holes on the front. We're going to pull up this flap and run 2 more self-tappers through those. Get the screw started through the fabric first. And then line up the hole. Take a Phillips head screwdriver to run it in. And I'm going to get my second one started before I crank down on that one. Tighten them both completely down and repeat on the other side. Now we're going to connect our 2 support bars. The one on our number 6 bow is going to this bracket on our roll bar, and the one connected to the number 5 bow is going to go right up here. I'm going to get this one in place first, line up my hole, start threading that bolt, and then I'll connect the top one. And then once you have both of them threading, take a T30 torque socket and tighten down the 2 bolts. And repeat on the other side. Now we're going to come back to our number 6 bow. We're going to fold this flap down and run self-tappers through it and into these holes. I'm going to get my screw going through the fabric first. I'm going to yank on this, fold it down, get my screw in the hole, and start threading that in. And then before I tighten that all the way down, I'm going to do the same thing with my other screw. Get it through the fabric first. Get the screw in the hole. Now we're going to come inside the Jeep. We're going to pull our handle down until it latches there. Do the same thing on the other side, and then pull your latch shut. So now that we have some tension on our top, we can attach our Velcro strap. I like to start in the middle, and then I'll work my way over to one side, and I'll come back to the other side. Now repeat that process for each bow, working your way back. Now we can finally install our windows. We've got this channel at the top that's going to slide over top of this rod. So connect it there and slide it across. Just going to have to tuck up under the soft top. And then coming to our back corner, we have that grommet that we installed earlier. This pin is going to be going into there. And then at the bottom, we have our buckle that's going to snap right behind this piece here. So wrap it around, pop that pin into place. And then snap that button on. Now over at the side here, we have this flap that's going to be tucked into this channel. So just get it all lined up and then pull it to fold it. It'll pop in there. And then at the bottom, we have the same thing that's going underneath the lip. And then you can start folding down your Velcro. Now we're just gonna do pretty much that same thing with our rear window. We're gonna slide this onto here first, and then we're gonna roll this up, and we have a tailgate bar that we're gonna slide onto the bottom the same exact way. Slide it in, center it up. And then at this point, you can fold down the top. Stick your Velcro down. So now we're gonna slide in our tailgate bar. Now this is the orientation you want here. You want that weather seal at the bottom, and you want this rectangular piece that's gonna slide into the tailgate retainer up. Keeping that same orientation, I'm just gonna flip this to reveal the part that we're sliding into our tailgate bar. And slide this all the way across. And then just center it up so it's lined up with your mounts. And then just push those into place. And now we're gonna come over to the side where we've got that flap that's gonna click into the channel once again. Pop that in. You've got one more on the bottom here. Pop that up and under, and then repeat on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Bestop Supertop Squareback Soft Top in Black Diamond for your 2018 and newer Jeep Wrangler JL 4-door. Thank you for watching, and for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.